Hey everybody, Markus here, and I want to welcome you to this new video series where we will be breaking down our music productions. And if you have been struggling on composing cinematic music or simply want to improve your music productions, then we really hope that our music breakdowns give you new inspiration for improving your productions. So let's go through this music track once, and after that I will go through section by section and give you insights in my thought process composing this piece of music. So here we go. All right. So the first thing I started with this track was the main chord progression. This is something I can really recommend when working on cinematic music, is to basically start with a chord progression, just using a piano, and just see if you can get a mood that you are trying to evoke based on your chord progression. And this is what I did. I started with a piano. I used a piano with a lot of reverb and a shimmer reverb, basically, which pitches the reverb one octave to just get this very open, shimmery reverb tail. And I'm also reusing a really simple chord progression, going from D minor to C major, then to A minor, and then A sharp major, I think. And then after I had this main chord progression set, I then added this pretty basic top melody on top of that. And something to take in mind when scoring or creating cinematic music, especially modern cinematic music, try to work with simple melodies that loop perfectly. So just make sure when you create a melody that at the end of the melody that a kind of longing is created that wants to go back to the start of the melody. Then we have some bass synthesizers that basically add a kind of pulsing bass rhythm texture to the piano. And I used analog sampled synthesizers here, and this is a library I've recently found from SoundPaint named Palindrome 2. My approach for the strings is basically to use the different harmonic elements of the chord sections for the strings and just do a voicing with those chords and split them up in different voices. So usually the bass note, the root, basically goes for basses and cello, and then we have violas and violins using the other kind of harmonic notes of the chord. And this works quite well. So basically here we have the strings that basically then really settle, come in. Something to also you want to make sure is for the strings to have an expression automation so that it basically flows dynamically. This gives really a big sense of realism in terms of string performance. And I'm here using from Orchestra Tools the Benjamin Wallfisch strings. Then we also have some plucked guitar sounds coming in, and those plucked guitar sounds have a big ping pong delay texture. So it's like a combination of a few reverbs. You basically have a normal reverb, and then basically on the guitar patch there is this kind of ping pong delay. And this is just doubling up the main melody from the keys. We have an ambient patch. And then when we come to the percussive elements, in the intro we also have deep cinematic hits. I will just solo the percussive section right now. So basically we have the deep cinematic hits. And then there is a ticking clock type sound coming in at the second part. This just helps driving the score forward. I think these are sampled clocks also from SoundPaint. And then when it afterwards goes to the main chorus, we have a lot more going on. But before we go to the main chorus, we will take a look at the brass section right here. So for the brass, basically, I pretty much used a kind of similar approach like for the strings. I basically used the harmonic content of the chords and then split it up to the different voice sections. Tuba is basically also playing the root notes. Then we have the trombones and also the trumpets. And for the brass, I used a little bit less expression on the intro part, and then I ramped up the expression a lot for the chorus section, and then started to introduce the main melody on the horns with kind of short notes and weaker expression and velocity. And then when it comes to the main chorus, I really push the expression so that all the brass basically opens up and has this wider feeling, a lot more high frequency tonalities due to the higher expressions and velocities and playing style. And I also added another bram layer, which is basically also from SoundPaint. It's basically a kind of horn ensemble which has this kind of hybrid feel. In solo it would sound like this. like really deep ram kind of sound with a little bit of top end as well. And this just makes a good combination with the rest of the brass section and makes it feel even more impactful. And when it comes to the chorus, I also have added a choir, which is just hitting in when the chorus hits in. Also borrowing from the main harmonies of the chords, using the main melody. And when it comes to choirs, it's really important that you keep breathing pauses in between your notes. Just make sure that that the singers basically have room to breathe. This will make your choir arrangements feel much more natural and realistic. Then when we come to the percussive side of things again, in the main chorus, we have also the additional percussive hits. This is basically another layer of drums, this time basically normal 4/4 beat, emphasizing the first and the second bar. And what I'm also using a lot are the transition effects, and a library I really like to use for this kind of stuff is the Rise and Hit library from Native Instruments. I really love the amount of variety you have for choosing different kind of rising and hit sounds. You can actually do this all by using a sample, reversing it, and putting some effects on. But for scoring, I just lend a lot towards this library because it's so easy to work with. And the kind of sound I used for this tension build-up and the release basically reminds a little bit for like building up tension, and the release just sounds like breathing out, like a pressure release, and it gives this kind of relaxing feel to the score. And somehow I really think this builds up this kind of tension moments and tension release moments that lets you have this kind of sensation of relaxation in this track. I really like this. And some other elements we have in the main chorus are the violins that then switch to an ostinato pattern. So we just have this kind of really nice violin ostinato, also borrowing from the tonality of the chord structure. The violins are also playing the main melody. And we also have an additional synthesizer. Let's hear this again. The synthesizer just comes in, basically also playing the melody with small sequenced notes. And there's this kind of arpeggiator which pitches up 1 octave now and then, just to give this kind of ear candy. And then when we come to the main breakdown section, we then have the solo cello, which has massive reverb and is a lot like really compressed to be like really present, but also like floating in kind of this big like reverb space. It seems like this cello is located in space, basically. We also have the choir, like a soft variation of this choir. From the choirs, I'm using the from Audio Imperia chorus choir. Really love that. Especially like the soft. And the cello basically plays like a variation, like a counter melody of the main theme. Then we have another violin, the first violin's kicking in with the ostinato pattern. We have the tension build up, and then we just move to the last climatic section of the song. And then for the end we have the same like build up as at the beginning, but just the way reversed, and then the ending of the track. So this pretty much wraps up this track breakdown. If there are specific topics you want to see us explore more in upcoming videos, let us know in the comments. And please like and subscribe if you want to see more track breakdowns in the future. So thank you so much for being part of this journey, and now go out and create some awesome music. See you next time.